Welcome to the Mike Kellar Show. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Coach. First thing, your initial reaction to Thursday's 17-14 win at Fairmont.
Obviously a good win on the road, rivalry game. Good to be 1-0 in the league. I told the team all those things are good, but let's not lose sight of what made us want to know. The process is what's really the most important. We were very result-oriented, and I try to explain to them, let everyone else be result-oriented. Let's try to be process-oriented, and let's continue to do things right that allowed us to win. We didn't turn the ball over. We stopped the run. We were smart in special teams. We didn't really get a lot of penalties, and you win by 3. If you don't play a perfect game, you don't win those ball games, and that's kind of where we are at. I don't know that our talent level will ever be so great. I was at Cal, and we were the #1 team in the region. Our talent level was good enough to overcome mistakes. So we got to play mistake-free football and play smart, and if we do that, then we should be in every game.
And you mentioned last week you wanted to change your mentality when you're down in games, and that was apparent this week. You said, don't try to hit a 3-1 home run if no one's on base. How'd you get your guys to change their mentality? Because it was the same thing this week. You're down 14-0.
Well, when I was with Coach Sams at Fairmont, coincidentally, as the OC, he used to tell the team all the time, it's 14-0 the other team. Let's just pretend it's 14-0, and now let's just settle in and play ball. So I told the team all week, listen, they're up 14-0. Let's just play ball. Let's just execute ball plays. Let's just tackle. Let's just block. And then to make me look really smart, Fairmont went up 14-0. And I never really put that together until just now during this part. But that's really what it was. It was just play one play at a time. Don't think of it as a 3rd and 12. Think of it as the read. Think of it as as the ball play, and look at it more big picture instead of being competitive in that moment. And we've been telling them that from day one, but whatever we said sunk in that week.
And you also talked about last week about fixing the turnovers, and there was multiple things that can fix that. And one of those was forcing it. And it felt like the first couple games, Anthony did force it a little bit. Last week, he really didn't force it. He would either tuck it away and run. Was that something you really focused on last week with him?
We do a drill every day for that. Truthfully, it's really simpler than that. You play the first 2 games and you get down, and you almost have to force. And inevitably, and I get the fans and the turnovers, and they look at the stat sheet and all that. But there's only a few guys in the world, and I do mean the world. Pat Mahomes, Josh, who in those situations could make plays no matter what. Most guys have to manage expectations and play in situational football and manage games. It's an overused, and they look at it as a bad term, but you really do have to be somewhat a game manager. Last week, Anthony was able to make better decisions because our defense played great. Anthony was able to make better decisions because we ran the football. And then we were able to put him in just a few situations instead of being Superman 40 plays. He had to go be Superman 5 plays. He stepped up and hit an in route. He had 2 big runs. You're able to manage those situations, and I think Anthony could really be a great player. Could be one of those guys, but they're few and far between. And they generally go to. USC can't do this. So Glenville's going to do. You got to be able to play team football.
And how key was it keeping a clean sheet? Because you mentioned the turnovers early in the year against Fairmont. You turned them over 3 times. We don't turn it over at all. How key was that?
Oh, it's critical. We won 17-14. If we don't do that, between that and the penalties, I think that was the key. Some of the keys to the ball game. We were able to make a couple key plays, and we were able to keep a clean turnover sheet, and we forced them to turn it over, like you said, 3 times, and that was probably the difference in the ball. When you measure first down efficiency, we were a little bit ahead of them. Red zone efficiency, they were a little bit ahead of us. Explosives, I think we were +1. So it was basically dead even. The turnovers was the key of the game.
And I mentioned this turnover. Sean Sterling Jr. had 2 interceptions last game. He was MEC Player of the Week. He's played really well the last 2 games. And how important has that been, especially with the back end of the defense?
It's critical, and I'm so happy for Sean. He's been a leader since he got here. He's a 5th-year guy for us. He's graduating this semester. His life's right. Everything he does. If I can get our entire team, young guys especially, to have Sean's mentality, and it probably took Sean a minute to get that mentality, then we would be really hard to beat. If there's not enough Sean Sterlings on anyone's team.
And not only you, but also your players were a bunch in front of a bunch of friends and family. What'd that win, mean to you to be able to do that?
Oh, on a personal note, it's no secret. I played here and there.
Yeah.
I coached there at the very, very beginning of my career. I'm from 15 minutes from there. Born and raised. I had a bunch of family there. Probably had more people on our sidelines rooting for. There was probably more people in Fairmont rooting for us than there was rooting for them. So that was unique. Yeah. Probably unique to us, and on a personal level, it did mean a lot. But in all honesty, it was just in big pictures, it's just another game. Yeah. It was good to be 1-0 in the league.
Yeah, and now moving forward, you have UNC Pembroke coming in this week. They're winless right now, 0-3, 0-1 in the MEC, but they played some really good non-con teams and Wingate, Fayetteville State. Then they played 19th ranked Charleston last week. What have you seen so far out of them?
We got a very good football team. They are the best 0-3 team in the country. Yeah, they've got to be. They are loaded with talent. Quarterback can run, speed in the backfield. This tailback may be the fastest kid we see all year, unless one of Charleston's kids the next week. Very good on defense. They are very well coached. They are a very hard team to prepare for. A lot of different stuff they throw at you schematically, and it's going to be a long week for us. We've already had 2 sleepless nights trying to get ourselves ready to get the team ready. So, but at the end of the day, we're at home. We got to go. We got to do the same formula's got to work. We got to have a clean stat sheet. We got to take care of the football. We got to establish the run. We got to stop the run, and then we got to take advantage of opportunities when we have them.
And one of those players, Jameis Blank, reigning Defensive Player of the Year in the conference. He was an All-American. How do you plan on stopping a player like that that's just so disruptive?
That's what the next meeting's about. I don't know that we can't.
Yeah.
He's very good. I think he had 20-some sacks or something. I saw the number.
It was crazy.
It's some crazy number. Kid's got a motor. Very good off the edge. One of the things you watch the Steelers play on Sunday. Try not getting 3rd and long when Watt knows you're passing. We're trying to if we can stay out of 3rd and long when we know we got to throw the football. That makes him one-dimensional in what he's doing, and that makes it hard on us. So some of it will be just managing the game and the situations.
And then on offense, you mentioned the tailback, Sincere Baines. They bring back Colin Johnson, the quarterback, who was the All-MEC second team. What's going to be a key in stopping their high-powered offense?
They're really, even though it doesn't look like it, they're really an option-based offense. Everything they do has got multiple layers to it, and their coach is excellent with it. And and he knows when you're doing all you can to rob all those runs, and you get those safeties up there. He knows when to call the little shot play. So they're really an option-based offense that throws the ball deep. This will date me a little bit, but when I grew up, the Nebraskas and Oklahomas were triple option teams, and they would put that ball in the belly, and then quarterback would come out and he'd pop up, and there'd be Keith Jackson or some receiver wide open, and that's kind of what they are. They're doing it out of a spread set. They're doing it out of the shotgun. They've modernized it a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's really that type of scheme.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming on today.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for watching the Mike Kellar Show.